Hello students, today we will be continuing with the chapter Reproduction Living Organisms. So in a previous class you have studied about asexual reproduction. Today let us see the sexual reproduction. What is sexual reproduction? It is a reproduction that involves formation of male and female gametes either by the same individual or by different individuals of the opposite sex. It results in offspring that are not identical to the parents or amongst themselves. Hope you understand now what is sexual reproduction. Mainly it means the formation of male and female gametes either by same or by different individual. Means two different sexes, that is male and female. Whatever the gametes are produced by them, they are the sexual reproduction. And the offspring, they may be they are not identical, means they are not same. No, the offspring, they will be everything, each offsprings, they are not similar to each other. There are some characters that are different. So that is sexual reproduction. It is an elaborate, complex and slow process as compared to asexual reproduction. Means asexual reproduction, it is faster, whereas sexual reproduction, it is the offspring is very slow. It's a elaborate means it is a lengthy process in that way. It is a lengthy and complex means somewhat too much methods are a bit difficult, so in that way. Okay. The period of growth to reach in maturity for sexual reproduction is called juvenile phase. In plants it is called vegetative phase. It means from the birth of the from the offspring up to the maturity level in animals is that phase is called, that period of growth is called juvenile phase. Whereas in plant, that is from the small, from seed to the tree or the plant. So that maturity is up to that period in plant is called the vegetative phase. In higher plants, the flowering indicates the end of the vegetative phase. It means now from the embryo up to the flowering stage, that flowering stage is the maturity stage. So when the plant is flowered, then that flowering phase, when it starts, then it means that it is the end of the vegetative phase, and from there the reproductive phase starts. Means the ovary starts developing in the plant in that way. Okay, in reproductive phase. Annual and biennial plants show clear-cut vegetative, reproductive and senescent phases. Annual means it means living for only one growing season. It's only 1 year that flower will be seen, means at the end of the season. Whereas biennial means they start flowering in the second year of growth. That is, they complete their life cycle within 2 years. So these plants, they'll be showing the clear picture of the vegetative, reproductive and senescent phases. Whereas in perennial flowers, these phases are difficult to identify. It means the perennial means the plants which can live for many years. Annual means 1, it can live only for 1 year. Biennial means 2, it can live for 2 years. Next, some plants exhibit unusual flowering. That is, bamboo species they flower only once in their lifetime. After 50 to 100 years, they produce large number of fruits and die. This, now you got the meaning, unusual. Few commonly many plants they flower for once in a year or twice for 2 years or maybe about to 5 years. But the flowers which flower after many years, this is only once in their lifetime, they are the unusual flowering. So they are seen in bamboo species. In bamboo, uh, throughout their lifetime, only once they will flower. That too after 50 to 100 years. There is another one, Strobilanthus kuntiana. They flower in once in 12 years. Only once they will flower. That is within 12 years. In animals, juvenile phase. What is juvenile phase at all? From offspring to the maturity phase. So see, after next juvenile phase, I told you, it is the reproductive stage. See, juvenile phase is followed by morphological and physiological changes prior to active reproductive behavior. It means morphologically and physiologically there will be changes in the organisms. So birds living in nature, they lay eggs only seasonally. However, birds in captivity can be made to lay eggs throughout the year. It's not like they will lay the eggs in all the season. Usually birds will lay eggs only in particular season. But now we are having poultry and all. No, they're all what they'll be given some food or injecting and all. So in that way they are made to lay eggs throughout the year. See, the females of placental mammals exhibit cyclical changes in the ovaries, accessory ducts and hormones during reproductive phase. So placental mammals exhibit cyclical changes in the ovaries. So you will be knowing, no, the menstrual cycle. So it's one of the changes during reproductive phase. The cyclical changes is called estrous cycle in non-primates, that is cows, sheep, rat, deer, dog, tiger, etc. So they'll be these non-primates. These are all non-primates. They are having the estrous cycle, whereas menstrual cycle in primates, they are monkeys, apes, and humans. It means children, in menstrual cycle, the shedding of endometrium takes place and there is bleeding in menstrual cycle, that is in primates, whereas in non-primates there is no shedding of endometrium and bleeding does not occur. Next, based on breeding season, mammals are two types: seasonal breeders and continuous breeders. In seasonal breeders, the mammals living in natural condition exhibiting reproductive cycles only during favorable conditions. The seasonal breeders, no, only during the favorable seasons they will be exhibiting their reproductive cycle, whereas continuous breeders, they are reproductively active throughout their reproductive phase. Means this doesn't have any season or anything, they just keep on reproducing. Continuous breeders. Next, senescence. What is senescence? It is the last phase of the lifespan and end of the reproductive phase. First was your juvenile phase, next is the reproductive phase, and at last is the senescence. During this, concomitant changes occur in the body. Example, slowing of metabolism, etc. It ultimately leads to death. You know, When you're young, you're too active, but when you are old, you're not active. Why? Because your metabolism is decreasing, and ultimately, what happens? It will lead to death. In plants and animals, hormones cause transition between juvenile reproductive and senescence phase. Interaction between hormones and environmental factors regulate the reproductive processes and the associated behavioral expression of organisms. So mainly the interaction between hormones and environmental factors, no, what they do, they will regulate the reproductive processes. Means they will start the kick off the reproductive processes and associated behavioral expressions of organisms. So next in sexual reproduction, what are the stages of sexual reproduction? First is pre-fertilization, next is fertilization, and then comes the post-fertilization. In pre-fertilization, it is gametogenesis and gamete transfer. So let us see the pre-fertilization events. The events prior to fusion of gametes, they include gametogenesis and gamete transfer. So how these gametes fuse, means how the both male and female gamete fuse. So based on that priority, they are having the pre-fertilization events. So they are the gametogenesis and gamete transfer. Gametogenesis. It is the formation of male and female gametes. Gametes haploid spells are two types: homogametes and heterogametes. So first picture you are having isogametes of cladophora. It's an algae. Heterogametes on fucus. It's an algae, and heterogametes on Homo sapiens. Now let us see what is homogametic and heterogametes. Homogametes. Similar gametes, they cannot categorize into male and female gametes. Example, some algae like cladophora. The word itself, they are given isogametes. Means they are having the similar gametes, but they cannot categorize which is a male and which is a female gamete. There's a homogametes, okay. Mainly it means both male and female, they are morphologically they will be similar. That's the reason you will not come to know which are the homogametes. It's heterogametes, the male and female gametes are distinct types. Means they are different. So male gametes is called antherozoid, that is sperm, and female gamete is called egg, that is ovum. Example, fucus and human being. Unisexual and bisexual. So these are the sexuality in organisms. Unisexual means male and female reproductive structures are present on different individuals. Uni means one. No. So this both male and female, they are present in different individual. If male and female flowers are present on different plants, it is called dioecious. Example, papaya and data palm. Next, unisexual animals. Example are cockroach, higher animals, and fungi may be homothallic or heterothallic. See this male and female, they are present in flowers. They are present on the different plants. Bisexual male and female reproductive structures present in the same individual. Means the both the reproductive organs they are present inside one body itself. In flowering plants, male flower is staminate and female flower is pistillate. It means they are base, stamens and pistils. See, now bi means they are present in one individual. So in hibiscus, both male flower and female flower, that is staminate and pistillate, they are present in one flower itself. If male and female flowers are present on the same plant, it is called monoecious. Example, cucurbita and coconut. Bisexual animals, example are earthworms, leech, sponge, tapeworm, etc. So it's clearly understood. In one plant we are having both male and female reproductive structure. That is a bisexual. Bi, two, no, in that way. In animals they are called as hermaphrodites. You have to remember this properly, children. They will ask. Now you know bisexual and unisexual again. Next is cell division during gamete formation. Many monarians, fungi, algae and bryophytes have haploid parental body. They produce haploid gametes by mitosis. I hope you remember you have studied in your first PU class, no? This fungi, algae, they are all having haploid parental cells. So they produce haploid gametes itself. This is 4. That is by mitosis. Whereas pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms and animals, they have diploid parental body. They produce haploid gametes by meiosis of meiocytes. See this pteridophyte, gymnosperm and angiosperm and animals. We are all having the diploid parent, that is 2. Whereas the monera, fungi, algae, they are having 4. That is haploid parental body. So this is how gamete formation takes place. Next, gamete transfer. Here male gametes needs a medium to move towards female gametes for fertilization. In most organisms, male gamete is motile and female gamete is stationary. In some fungi and algae, both types of gametes are motile. What do you mean by motile? Do you remember? Motile means the movement. Here, male gamete, it needs a medium, means it wants a medium to move. It's something like liquid or something, it wants a medium to move. So this usually this sperm from male reproductive organ, it moves out through the semen to the female reproductive organ. Okay, so the semen is a medium. So in that way, usually this male gamete, that is the sperm, it will move, whereas the female gamete, that is the egg, it is stationary, means it is in one place itself. So in fungi and algae, both gametes are motile, means both moves. In simple plants, that is algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes, gamete transfer takes place through water medium. So in simple plants and all, what's the medium there? Water is a medium. To compensate the loss of male gametes during transport, large number of male gametes is produced. So male gametes should not get lost, no? That is the microspores, okay children. So the pollen, so these they are in number, means they are more in number, not single. In seed plants, pollen grains carry male gametes. So that's what these microspores, they are produced in the pollen grains. So they carry the male gametes and the ovule carries the egg. So inside the ovule, you can see the picture, the ovary is marked, no? So inside that you are having the egg. In second chapter you will be studying that. Second or third. Pollen grains are transferred to the stigma. So through stigma what it happens? It will go and meet the ovary. So in that way. Next, in bisexual self-fertilizing, plants, anthers and stigma are close to each other, so transfer of pollen grains is easy. It means in one plant itself it takes place. That is, you can take example of hibiscus. Next, in cross-pollinating plants, including dioecious plants, pollination helps in transfer of pollen grains. Pollen grains germinate on the stigma and the pollen tubes carrying male gametes reach the ovule and discharge the male gametes near the egg. So, you can see them. In self-pollination, hibiscus, I hope you remember, in hibiscus, these pollen grains, everything is at the top, whereas below that itself there is an ovary. So that will be the self-fertilizing. Whereas cross-pollination means, see the picture there. Their anther and pollen is another one. The stigma is another part. What happens? That pollen grains, it has to move to the stigma. That is the cross-pollination. So when the pollen grain moves, what happens? The spores present in them, that is the male gametes, they reach the ovule, that is the egg, and there it starts reproducing. In dioecious animals, the fertilization helps for successful transfer and upcoming together of gametes. In animals, the fertilization there helpful for the successful transfer and coming together of the gametes, means when they both join together, no? So it is easy for the gametes to reproduce the new offspring. Okay, so today I studied about asexual reproduction. So answer these questions I have given you, including the last class also, though it was a small session. So define reproduction. What is reproduction and what is lifespan? And the next question is what is gametogenesis and oogenesis? Second question, explain the two types of reproduction, that is sexual and asexual reproduction. Write the definition. And last one, define the following terms: monoecious and dioecious in plants. So I have mentioned that in plants you have to write about plants. Don't write what is monoecious and dioecious in animals. If you write that, then it is wrong. So make a notes of that, and this is, make two separate notes. One is for CET and one is whatever classes you hear, you have to maintain a separate notes for that. Thank you.